It's really important to be able to be trained using a knife in the nursery because it's a fundamental part of the work we do, where we're doing cuttings or chipboarding or any other sort of horticultural technique. So the importance of cleaning knives is making sure we don't cross-contaminate, whether it's diseases from one plant to another. So we have to make sure we keep the knives and secateurs clean. So we use like a methylated spirit or alcohol diluted to clean the knives. Also we use sandpaper to get rid of any residue from sap, that sort of thing, for plant material, which is fundamental to keep it clean. So it's important to clean the knife after each episode between each plants, and also making sure it's clean probably the start of the day and at the end of the day. It's really important to have a sharp knife, because if you have like a blunt knife, sometimes if the knife isn't sharp, well, you're not pulling through your knife safely, and that could mean you can get cut. So we use a stone here at the zoo. So you've got to make sure it's a flat stone, and you've got to make sure when you sharpen it, you're using the whole of the blade on that stone, making sure you're consistent on the whole of the blade. And once you feel happy and it's sharp, you can then test on some piece of wood, pulling through the knife on the material, and you'll have an indication then whether it's sharp or not. So the first tip is being able to open the knife safely, making sure that you don't have your hand anywhere the blade when you pull it out and open it up. So you've got to make sure when you hold the knife, you've got to make sure your hand is quite close to the end of the handle, near to the blade, but not on the blade. Making sure you grip it sort of fairly tightly, but not too tightly, but making sure it's not too loose either, so you're in control in holding the knife. So once staff have been trained and feel confident, it's then being able to pull through the knife. So you start at the back of the blade, the bottom of the blade, and you pull through the knife, working your way through the wood material. By using this technique, you're less likely to cut yourself and hurt yourself. Also, sometimes if you're in a situation out in the field where you have to do a cut, say, slightly higher than your chest, you have to be careful though that when you're doing a cut with your hand, making sure your hand, which hasn't got the knife in, is not below where you're cutting with the knife. You need to make sure that the hand is elevated away from the knife, so when you're pulling through, you're not going to cut yourself. So when the knife isn't being used, the knife should always be closed, because there's that chance it could get knocked off the bench or something like that, and then it could injure somebody. To close the knife safely, you hold one hand with the wooden handle or the plastic handle, and then you very carefully push the outer part of the blade, which is the blunt end, back into the holes of the knife, and that's secure then. And then after the end of the day, we then secure our knives in the locker, and it's all locked up, so it's away from people using it.